Hi folks, I do hope you're well. Right, I've got a new feature here. I mentioned it yesterday. It's something I'm looking at doing most Saturdays, just for a bit of extra content and a bit of a chat between me and you, whoever you might be. I am not a tipster. I am not going down the tipping route. There'll be no profit and loss because I'm not giving tips. What I've decided I'm going to do on a weekly basis, if I've got the time, and I'm going to try and find the time every Saturday morning, I'm going to let you know the bets I'm putting on each day, although horses or football teams or rugby teams or snooker players that I fancy. That's what I'm going to do. And what I'm going to ask you to do, I mentioned it last night, if you have any wins today, don't bang every tip in the description. Well, you can if you want to. You can put every bet you're having on if you want to. You don't have to. But any of you that win any money today or have a good story to tell, put it in the comment section of this video. Let us know what you won on. Let us know where you got the bets from. Was it from a tipster? Was it from like a Mickey or a Connor or somebody like that, or Dave the Suit? Or was it your own tips? Where did you get your tips from? You don't have to tell us how much you've put on or what you've won. You can if you want to, but you don't need to because that's your own business. But I'd like to share with you what I've got on today and what I may or may not win. I'm going to put in the comment section later how well or badly I've done. Let me know yourselves. It'd be nice to see which of you are winning and which of you aren't winning. These are the things I'm looking at today. Now, I've been out today. We're not that far off the first race now at Ascot, Champions Day. I wanted to get this video up before it started. You know I offered the play spots. I do the ITV7 play spot. I like it. There's not as much in the pool, but the payouts are normally bigger because the cleverer people tend to go for the big play spot, the Whirlpool play spot. And if you get that up, everybody's winning it. So, although there's more in the pool, the win is normally a lot less than the ITV7 one. So I like the ITV7 one, and the extra leg does make it that bit harder to win. So I'm going to tell you what I've done play spot wise. I picked most of the horses last night. I expected some non-runners today. There's no non-runners that affect my bet, so I'm fine. I do lots of horse race match bets, as I've said. And I've also quickly looked last night. I thought, what are the horses that I fancy to win today at the big meeting? And what are the horses that I think will run well at decent odds? And I'm going to give you some horses and some reasons behind them. Don't tip them, folks. I'm just telling you what I think. And then you can let me know what you think about any of the picks that I picked out. Am I on the right track? Am I on the wrong track? Are you thinking the same as me or totally differently? And I'm also going to give you the footballers and whatever else. Now, I've not formulated my bets yet. My play spot I've just this minute put on. Just this second that's on now. I have got a couple of horse race bets on. I won't tell you which ones they are, but they're on. But I'll tell you the horses I was looking at, as I say, and the reasons behind them. Now, I've had an appointment this morning, seen a customer for 10 o'clock. I was out for just turned 9. But luckily I got a bit of studying done last night. I've just come back. I've done a bit more. And I'm ready to go. All I've not done yet is with the football bets. I've not formulated any plans there. I'm going to do some trebles, some accas and so on and so forth. I was saying a few months ago I was doing too many of them and I was losing. I've had a good run the last 3 or 4 weeks, so I'm going to carry it on. Not the run, I'm just going to keep doing the bet. These are what I was looking at when I looked at the big meeting today. I thought, win-wise, I thought, I fancy Kyprios. It just should win. Trollerman's been a while out and I just fancy Kyprios. It should win. Don't we say it will? Sharon looks a good bet to me as long as it's not over the top. It's had a long season, but I was most impressed with its last run. I know it never won. I thought SDS just put it too far back. I don't think he'll do that again. I think it'll be within 2, 3, maximum 4 lengths of the pace setter, whoever that might be. He won't drop it out, and I think the best horse lost in France earlier on in the year. And I know it's drifting. I've heard on the morning line, I've just seen the morning line, that Economics is drifting. And I know it's only ever run once on heavy ground and its first run ever when it got beat. But it ran on really well. It looked like it was okay with the ground. And I note, as I said earlier on this week, that Haggis has said, whatever happens, whatever the ground is, we're going to run. He said, if we get beat, that'll be the first excuse he used. It didn't like the ground. He said, but to be honest with you, I think it can go on any ground. He was bullish early on this week for me. Whatever the ground is, we're going to win. It could have got a lot heavier than it is. They're classing it as soft now and not heavy. He was still going to run on heavy. So if he was going to run on heavy, that's good enough for me. I like the horse. I love the way it's run its last 2 races. The race before the last in France, I just didn't think it was going to get up, and it did. And its last race in Ireland, I just thought it shown loads and loads of guts for a horse that's only had, 4 or 5 runs in its life. It's an inexperienced horse. It's had a quietish season. I fancy it today. Each way wise, well, I fancy in the first, the O'Brien second string, is it the U for 8s? I think at the odds it's a decent bet, especially if you're getting, say, 4 places. In the sprint, I like 2 or 3, and I can't understand why. I mean, I like Millstream, I like Swing Along, I like Unequal Love, but just on the prices. If you're getting 4 and 5 places there, I think they might be in the 4 or 5 places, or a couple of them might be. I've just had the old free bet with Sky where you bet a tenner, if it comes in the first 5 you get your money back. Millstream was 14 to 1. I thought, well, I'll have a bit of that. It's run on soft before. I thought, I'll have a bit of that. I like Buick. I'll have a go. Grateful in the 235. I quite like that. It won well in, was it in France last time? It wasn't expected to win. It was a big price. But it had Sumion on. It came from nowhere. He's on again. And just for that reason, I think I'll follow it at that price. I'll probably bet it later each way. I can't find it in a match bet anywhere. If it was in a match bet, I'd be looking, because with all of these, I'm looking for match bets with these in. Unfortunately, I can't find match bets with any of these horses. If I could, I'd be betting them in match bets. I might still look on Betway and Coral and Bet Victor, see if any of them are in match bets, but I'm not so sure they're going to be. Los Angeles in the same in the 355. It had a hard race in the Arc. It was 1 mile for the Arc. This is only 1 mile 2, but it's really soft. It just keeps running on. It doesn't give up. I think it's about 7 or 8 to 1, but I could see getting the first 3 or 4 at 7 or 8 to 1. So I thought that was okay. And in the last, I had 3 against the field. Holloway Boy carried the one, and is it Tommy Son, the one with Murphy on? The one I really like, again, for the Sumion factories, carry the one. I like that horse. I like that horse. It comes late. It often doesn't get lucky running, but I think it's got a top class jockey in Sumion. If the stable want to win that race, and I'm sure they go in there to try to win it, with Sumion on, I think they've got a good chance. And then I've only looked at 2 of the races in Ireland, and it's only because they're in the ITV 7 place part. You see, I tend to just go main meeting on a Saturday, maybe 2 main meetings, and that's it. I don't look at any other meetings, to be honest with you. And most of the racing today is pretty poor. I know there's some big fields and what have you, but I tend to look at the best racing. I don't have time to look at the rest. What we're doing this on here and all the groundwork that goes into doing different videos and all the studying, I don't get time, so I just look at best meeting only. But there's a couple of races at Limerick, because they're in the ITV 7 place part. I think, is it in the second race? It's the second or third race. I like Weir Lane. The reason I like Weir Lane is I like the combination of Quealy and Fitzgerald. I think they're a good combination. And then I think the same race, I quite like Mothership of the Sharks. Both at decent prices, but I think the one of the 2 that I really like is Weir Lane. I might even bet that on its own each way later. I might do. Up to now, I think I've got money down. Well, I'll tell you what, I shouldn't do this. I don't like doing this, because when I tell people my bets, I just feel they never ever win. I feel it curses them. But I've done a treble. I've got Kyprios to win, Kinross to beat Beauvetier. Is it Beauvetier? I think it is. And I've got Wingspan to beat Time Lock. My reasoning behind these bets are, Beauvetier looked really good in France last time and came from the clouds, but it's not won all year. Kinross hasn't been at its best all year, but it's been there or thereabouts a couple of times. It always goes well at this meeting. It loves the meeting, so until it bottoms out, I think I'll bet it. And Wingspan against Time Lock. Wingspan hasn't run this far, but it likes the soft. They say it wants the extra distance, and I think Time Lock is a little ungenuine. It doesn't really put it all in. I think it won its last race by 5 lengths, but it just doesn't put it all in. That's one bet. And my biggest bet of the day, I did a match bet a few weeks ago now, which won. And then the week after, I doubled it up and won again. Then it won again, so I've got a few quid in the pot there. I've left it in the pot, and I've done a double today. If it comes in, it'll get me a few hundred quid. Knowing me, it'll go down leg 1. I've done Metropolitan to beat Prague, and the reason for that is Metropolitan's been in a better class of race. Prague won really well last time, and they say it likes the ground, but it's only 1 race, you know. And I think, I mean, in that match bet, Prague is the favourite of the 2. I think it should be the other way about, even if Prague does win, and it may well win Prague, but they're giving it a short price just on 1 race, and it didn't beat a lot on its 1 race, although it was impressive. And I've got that one going on to carry the one against Beau Pedro. I've already told you why I like carry the one. Sumion's on it. Beau Pedro hasn't won all year, but it's been thereabouts 50% of the time. They both come late. I'm just hoping the better jockey in Sumion over Tudhope is the deciding factor. That's if my bet is still going then. And then I've looked at some football. I looked at Man United. I support them. I can't bet them. They're 7 to 10. They're favourites. I can't see how, because at the moment you can't trust them at all. You don't know what you're going to get. There's injuries left, right, and centre. We can't put the ball in the net, and we can't keep it out the net the other side. So I just can't bet them. Although I need them to win, and I'm hoping they win. So the ones I'm looking at today. I mean, I was looking at Villa and didn't do them. Or I haven't put them on my list, but I think I'm going to, because I think they were around about even money or bigger. And although Fulham have started pretty well, it's Villa when all's said and done. So I think I'm going to look and see if they've got many players out, because I can't see why they're such big odds, although they're away from home. I think they're playing well this year. So I'm going to have a look at Villa, but they're not on my list. My list is as like this. I've got Arsenal at 8 to 11 against, I think it's Bournemouth. I think they should be a lot shorter than that. I've got Man City about 1 to 3. Atletico Madrid 1 to 3. I'm looking at Juve and Lazio, both teams to score, at 10 to 11. Napoli at 4 to 6. Atalanta at 4 to 7. Genk in Belgium at 1 to 2, or a bit less than 1 to 2. And Bayern Munich at 1 to 3. I know they're all poor prices, but what I try to do is put an even money shot, or 2 roundabout even money, with 3 at your 1 to 2s and 1 to 3s. That's what I try to do, and over the last 2 or 3 weeks I've done pretty well. So that's me for today, folks. You've got everything there, everything I'm looking at, I've told you about. Everything I'm looking at doing, I've told you about. I've got a couple of bets on, I've told you about. I am going to do a couple more. What I'll probably do is I'll find 2 more match race bets, because they're around about 5 to 6, 1 or 2. That gives me even money. I'll find a football match round about even money, 4 to 6, 5 to 6. And then I'll put 3 in at 1 to 2, 1 to 3 to keep it going. And I'll do that twice. So I'll look for 2 more horse race match bets. I'll go horse race match bet and a football team round about even money. Horse race match bet, football team about even money. And the 1 to 2s, 1 to 3s, I'll put 2 or 3 in each of the bets. And I'll hope that one bet comes in. It's happened the last 2 or 3 weeks. Let's hope it happens today. I will probably also have a look at the big handicap later today, maybe the sprint, and look at doing something each way on its own. Or I might even do the old flat cap column, Connor 500, cross doubles or cross trebles. I might do. It's if I've got time. Lots to do now. I'm away. As I say, what are you betting and have you won? If you win, let me know later today. Let us know where you got the selections from. Were you helped by one of the tipsters that we follow? Did you do it all yourself? What kind of day have you had? Just let me know. And I'll see you later for scores on the doors.